Space Defense Command Center, we are receiving transmissions from Space Monitoring Central Alpha confirming sighting of the target. Its dimensions are colossal, comparable to the entire city of New York. It's quite impressive.
Whatever that is, instruct not to initiate any type of attack. We're not sure about our defensive capabilities against this threat.
Parasitism on Earth is a phenomenon observed in various life forms, where a parasitic species benefits at the expense of another, known as the host. This unequal relationship is a vivid example of how nature can be curious. Depending on the survival strategies of each organism, terrestrial parasites have evolved a variety of adaptations to exploit and take advantage of their hosts, from microscopic organisms to complex life forms, in an impressive diversity of techniques to extract vital resources, such as nutrients and protection from hosts, without offering many benefits in return. If just as this type of life arose on Earth, it could also arise on many planets where conditions very similar to ours repeat, just presenting, I don't know, a small difference? And if some of these lives were the ones that evolved to dominate their planets, and if they had arisen, I don't know, 1 million years before we humans appeared, could they have elevated this behavior to a galactic level? That's what the parasite hypothesis tries to explain, where alien civilizations use not only Earth with its human population as a kind of host, but also many other planets. This would be a major reason for them not to expose themselves. Just like terrestrial parasites, these master extraterrestrial beings would be aiming for a long-term scenario, gradually taking the planet from us, involving everything from abductions, political and religious agreements, to even involving major decisions in most governments. This idea exposes a great complexity of relationships between different forms of life that may, at this very moment, be seeded throughout the universe. That from a certain point in their evolution, they have to deal with these decisions when there is no longer anywhere for their civilizations to go to ensure their existence. It sounds crazy, right? But the clues we have observed over decades seem to indicate that something like this is happening. And if this is indeed happening, what are the short, medium, and long-term consequences? And what will be the fate of humanity at the end of this story? Over millions of years, DNA degradation is a natural occurrence that happens in all species. This is due to a variety of factors, including genetic limitations and exposure to environmental agents. Even in advanced civilizations, where genetic manipulation may mitigate some of these issues, genetic degradation can still be an inevitable challenge. We humans ourselves undergo DNA degradation over time, resulting from natural processes such as errors in action during cell division and damage caused by radiation and other environmental situations. Moreover, exposure to toxins, diet, and lifestyle further contribute to the deterioration of genetic material. Considering that our species is relatively new compared to the time of existence of the solar system, as far as we know based on scientific evidence, there is no data to support the idea that human DNA is decreasing over time in a general way. However, this does not mean that we are not being affected by this change. In the past, there were several human species coexisting, such as Neanderthals, Denisovans, Homo floresiensis, and many others. Over time, these different lineages naturally became extinct or merged with another lineage, leading to the survival of only one species of humans, which is ours. In human species specifically, selective pressure and adaptation to an environment influence the survival and reproduction of populations. In some cases, competition, environmental change, and other factors have led to the extinction of certain lineages, while others became dominant for a while or merged with ours. These conditions over time can continue to lead our species to quite significant changes, but not all of them lead us down good paths. In 1,000 years, human DNA degradation may not be so profound, but small genetic changes and accumulation of damage may begin to manifest, potentially contributing to an increase in genetic diseases and a decrease in genetic diversity. After 10,000 years, DNA degradation may become more evident, with a higher incidence of genetic mutations and a decrease in the efficiency of DNA repair mechanisms. This could lead to a higher prevalence of genetic diseases and a reduction in the adaptability of the human population to environmental changes. Over 100,000 years, DNA degradation could reach a critical point, with a significant loss of genetic diversity and a higher incidence of genetic diseases and debilitating conditions. The adaptive capacity of the human species from this point onward may be compromised, increasing the risk of extinction in the face of significant environmental changes. With the advancement of societies and the emergence of great human geniuses, paths will be created to reduce these damages. However, even with this advantage, as time passes, it is inevitable that this problem will increase and the search for its solution will escalate to extreme levels. Additionally, despite stability in the future, the solar system will not be the same. Gradually, it will bring changes that will make our environment less favorable to life as we know it. In this context, these same changes in distant stellar systems over millions of years could force these civilizations to face a bleak future. For a certain time, they would circumvent and endure these changes until a point where there will be no turning back, leading these civilizations to seek genetic resources on other planets like Earth. Confronted with the imminent extinction due to the irreversible degradation of their own DNA, these extraterrestrial beings desperately seek ways to preserve their genetic lineage and ensure the continuity of their species. And how would they do this, avoiding major resistances like confrontations and wars? The answer is to use the same technique as animals on Earth: parasitism. For civilizations to execute this plan, they would have to be capable of interstellar travel. The advanced technology resulting from intelligence accumulated over hundreds of thousands or millions of years would easily allow for the creation of gigantic spacecraft capable of carrying large populations in the thousands, traversing vast distances between stars. However, due to their size, finding a secure location to store these ships while in a stellar system would not be a simple task. For planets like Earth, where humanity has developed advanced detection technologies, the presence of large objects in the vicinity of the solar system could be quickly identified and confronted. To avoid detection and possible confrontations, alien civilizations may choose to hide them in remote and unsuspecting locations. Thus, the oceans of planets offer an ideal solution. The vast depths of the ocean offer a natural hiding place where alien vessels can remain concealed from the sight and reach of human detection technologies. To operate discreetly and safely, the missions of this civilization require a careful approach. Therefore, launching smaller ships from these large underwater vessels allows these beings to explore the planet on discreet missions without attracting unwanted attention. Recently, technology has allowed us to observe what was once nearly impossible: the recording and tracking of these unidentified flying objects. With these observations, what the military and agencies have discovered is that, for the most part, they have a very strong relationship with water, where many of them have been observed operating near or even entering and exiting large rivers and seas. While the large alien vessels remain submerged in the depths of the oceans, a series of abduction and observation operations are carried out through smaller ships launched from these gigantic vessels. These smaller, agile ships, equipped with advanced technology, are designed to perform missions with more precision within Earth's atmosphere, operating with efficiency and stealth. With a variety of camouflage systems and evasion devices, they manage to evade detection by terrestrial surveillance systems, mostly becoming only objects of sightings and eyewitness reports worldwide. The abduction and observation operation is conducted meticulously and strategically. Equipped with advanced genetic analysis and planetary mapping technology, the aliens seek to understand the biological and geographical diversity of Earth through these missions, as well as study human culture and society. Abductions, although frightening for those who experience them, are carried out with as little interference as possible, aiming to extract valuable information about human biology and behavior. Individuals selected for abduction are carefully examined and studied before being returned to their environment, with altered or erased memories to preserve the secrecy of the operations. Meanwhile, the smaller ships conduct extensive observations of the planet, collecting data on natural resources, weather patterns, and human activities. Based on these collected information, involving DNA, habitat, and social organization, they are compared with various analyses made on many other planets by several of these ships parallel to Earth. These beings would then determine which of these planets would be most suitable for the next stage of their domination. The idea of an alien species colonizing hundreds of planets at an intergalactic level as a survival strategy is fascinating and highly intelligent. These civilizations, possessing a high level of technology and the ability to travel between stars, would allow them to explore and colonize a wide range of planets in different star systems, each with its own peculiarities. There are several reasons for an interstellar species to choose this strategy, including genetic diversity, population redundancy, abundant resources, scientific exploration, cultural and technological innovation. But the practical difficulties and technological challenges to achieve this are immense and currently beyond our understanding and technical capacity. This strategy would need to be planned in stages over a long term and would require ingenious techniques to allow individuals who will live on these planets in the future to be fully adapted to the specific conditions of each. Human DNA captured in abductions, belonging to a still young and promising species in terms of longevity, plays a crucial role in the being's strategy to adapt to survival conditions on Earth and gradually establish their race in society. This new species on the rise, although quite similar to us humans in appearance and genetic composition, does not share the same origin or evolutionary history. Due to the great similarity but distinction in their essence, these beings have a unique ability to blend in among humans, making their identification a challenging task. As they are gradually introduced into human society, they are tasked with specific missions aimed at securing positions of influence in the highest echelons of world power. Through meticulous efforts of infiltration and manipulation, they are carefully positioned in key positions within the governments of the world, shaping events and policies in favor of their own interests. However, as in any large operation, many things do not go as expected. Over time, many of these missions would be discovered and accidents would happen to many of these ships and their occupants. In these situations, these infiltrated beings would spring into action, making recovery and secrecy agreements to protect the true origin and intention of this civilization, with the ability to subtly integrate into the political and social structure of humanity. They operate invisibly and manipulate information so that society sees this matter as of low relevance and even with a certain degree of comedy. This silent and sophisticated control allows aliens to manipulate world events in favor of their own objectives, thus ensuring their influence over the course of Earth's history, even concealing the presence of other civilizations that may have crashed on the planet, each with their own views and motivations. However, the greatest problem lies not in the other civilizations that occasionally visit our planet, but in the complex scenario of interaction between humans and aliens. In it, internal conflicts and betrayals arise, dividing humanity into opposing factions, each fighting for their own interests and ideals. As the presence of these beings becomes more evident and their influence expands, individuals willing to collaborate with the invaders in exchange for power, privileges, and status emerge. These collaborators, motivated by personal ambition or the promise of benefits, betray the trust of their peers and ally with them to ensure their own rise within a new world order. On the other hand, there remain those who resist parasitism. These brave individuals face dangerous barriers, willing to sacrifice everything in defense of the sovereignty and integrity of human society. Infiltrations and internal conflicts intensify in all layers of society, including the cores of major religions, among them the Vatican. Over time, these conflicts divide families, communities, and nations, increasing tension and instability in a world on the brink, balanced between alien control and human resistance. Faced with the intense challenges posed by the presence of these beings, the future of Earth and humanity takes an uncertain path. In it, different scenarios unfold, each with its own implications and consequences. In an optimistic scenario, humanity joins in heroic resistance against alien occupation, mobilizing its resources and energy for the liberation of the planet. However, they challenge the invading forces without the certainty of success, as these beings are far ahead of our technology. On the other hand, there is the dark possibility of total submission, where resistance efforts are suffocated by the technological and strategic superiority of the aliens. In this scenario, humanity is gradually forced to bow before this new species, adapting to a new order that rewrites the political, social, and cultural structures of the planet. As the years pass, Earth and all the other planets chosen for the Parasitism Project witness an irreversible transformation of their landscape and identity, marked by the ubiquitous presence of these invaders. The skies are now covered by alien ships, cities are overtaken by the language and culture of the conquerors, and the very essence of humanity is redefined and guided by the desires of these dominant beings. Considering the hypothesis that Earth is a target for possible conquest by these alien beings, following a 10-phase plan. Taking into account everything we have observed so far, it is suggested that Earth has already gone through 8 of these phases, with only 2 remaining.